certain things started happening later on in the 50s that things started to change a bit with regard to faith in America. And there's 5 things that I want to mention in that respect. Number one is the scientific and technological advances during the 50s. The space race. How many of you remember Sputnik? Yeah, John.
Remember it well.
Yes, I was in 7th grade when Sputnik happened, and that was big. Obviously, very, very big. First satellite to orbit the Earth, and of course it was a Russian satellite too. So big. So the space race started. It's also a time in the late 50s, and I have to say early 60s, where the younger generation, there were social changes occurring in our society, and that younger generations started questioning authority more and more, and they started questioning religious institutions. And I have to admit, to me, one of the biggest incidents of that time, the late 50s, early 60s, was Vietnam. I think that spurred a tremendous amount of questioning of authority. And obviously, if you all remember and maybe seen the video clips of all the demonstrations and protests and so forth and so on regarding Vietnam. Also, number 3, there were some Supreme Court decisions that played a big role in the 50s and early 60s. The big ones, I think, that contributed to the losing or the reduction of faith in our country was some Supreme Court decisions that removed prayer and Bible readings from public schools, and consequently weakening the influence of religion in our society. Number 4, consumerism, materialism. The economic boom of the 50s, of course, led to a greater focus on personal wealth and leisure, and consequently reducing the emphasis on spiritual life. Okay, and finally, we got to mention, especially in the early 60s, the civil rights movement in our country, and Martin Luther King, discrimination, schools, integration, all those types of things started having an effect, I think, on the role of faith in this country. And so the 60s really became a tumultuous time in our country, and I think it led to the reduction or the decline of faith in our country.